It's getting to be that time again where the municipal election is well underway and it's about to end. And actually, it ends on Saturday night. And your time as mayor since 2012 to now is coming to an end. I gotta say, nothing lasts forever. And I can tell you right now, I remember when I was on your campaign team in 2012, and I remember the big change when Peter Kelly stated he was going to run for mayor until your name came forward, and then suddenly Peter Kelly decided to backtrack on his words and withdraw his name for running for mayor of Halifax. And I gotta say is I'm honored to have you as my mayor. You are a good person. I'm sure you did the best you could do as mayor. But like the old saying that was once told me, and I'll say that to you too, we don't, not everything's forever. Everything ends one way or the other. Uh, some things we like to have forever, but things don't last forever. And since 2012, changes had happened in your life and in my life. In 2015, my mother passed away of cancer. She was battling two cancers at the same time, ovarian cancer and lung cancer. And I gotta say is, we take things for granted when we shouldn't be. And life to me is a never-ending journey. There's always something new to learn as time goes on. And I gotta say is, when I worked for you during your, when was it, 2007, when you were a member of Parliament for Dartmouth Co Harbor when you lost to Robert Chisholm. I think it was 2007. I can't remember for sure, but anyways, it was in that category. And I remember leaving that golf course there, that golf club there in Dartmouth. And saying, now what's next? That's the first election that I ever worked that I didn't win. I was so used to winning, I didn't know how. I actually did not know how to react when you lost that election. Just put it that way, because I never worked the election that I lost. I was always on the side of whoever wins the election. I was always on that winning side, and come up short for the first time ever in my prigged 30-year run in politics. My involvement in politics, I should say. It's first time for everything, and I guess you could say not too many people can say that just about every election that I worked, I won every one, except for the one with you when you lost to Robert Chisholm. And I gotta say, Mike, you got a hell of a job coming towards you. It was at the Nova Scotia Governor General. But, it's better than working those elections if you don't have to go through knocking on people's doors, putting up election signs, handing out flyers. You got to say certain things. You don't want to say what you're going to say wrong because the person won't agree to you. Then there goes your vote. And I understand how politics, elections can be a challenge because it can be hard because you don't know if certain people's votes are for granted. If they're going to live up to their expectations, are they going to turn on you and go the opposite direction? So I've definitely seen that during my time in politics, that's for sure. And I got to say, Mike, you were a good mayor. You were a good mayor, but like I said, everything comes to an end. And when you became mayor, you couldn't ask for a better person to replace Peter Kelly at the time than yourself. But like I said to others, everything comes to an end. And whoever wins Saturday night, Andy Fillmore, Way Mason, Pam Lovelace, God knows, any of the candidates below them could pull through, all we know. But, I got to say, Mike, it was an honor having you as a mayor of Halifax. You were quiet. See, you weren't like Peter Kelly. See, Peter Kelly would at least pick an argument, but you were too quiet when I was disputing certain things or a lot of things in City Hall or Jordan Regional Council, whatever. You were quiet. See, I wasn't used to that kind of a character. I was used to a mayor that would challenge me. You didn't do that. But I gotta say, Mike, it was an honor having you as mayor. And like you said, you loved politics. Not everything lasts forever. Everything ends sooner or later. And I gotta say, is Mike, it was an honor having you as my mayor for our Halifax region. And this is not the end. It's just the end of a chapter in our lives for you. It's an end of a chapter. And it's an end of a chapter for myself. Because here's the thing: this municipal election, I didn't work it. I was hurt. I was actually out hurt. I was helping somebody out my way in Porter's Lake. He had cancer, and I was helping him out. So I was doing some shoveling, and I tore my back out. A retired nurse looked at my injury where my back was pulled out, right where the hip is, right where your backside cheek is, and she understood it, and she looked. She said, Adam, you could have pinched it. She thinks I pinched a nerve, and she said, usually when you pinch a nerve there, it takes forever to heal. And she said, here's you, 2 weeks later, walking around as if nothing happened. And she said, you're very fortunate for that to happen because not too many people gets that lucky. But, I took a week off of resting, doing no freelance work, nothing whatsoever. Relaxed, took some rollbacks, actually worked surprisingly. $20 later for a small package, and I just took it easy. And unfortunately, this was the first municipal election that I didn't work. I was asked to be, Paul Boyd asked me to be his campaign manager. And I agreed to it, but lo and behold, a week before the election's called, I hurt my back. It took me about, the week when I hurt my back, I was lucky that I could even stand up. Put it that way. I was in pain standing up. I couldn't go to the washroom. I mean, I could go to the washroom, but you can't sit down and do your business because you're in agony and pain. In a way, when I looked at the situation, I said to myself, this is a situation where home care is needed. And it was. If you can't get up and down, you can't go to the washroom, you can't walk around, that's home care. They got to come out and they got to look after you until you're fixed up. And it was a hell of a time. It really was. I mean, just walking from one room to the other was a challenge. It really was. And when I tore my back out, I just basically had told David Boyd I can't do anything. And David Hinsby was shocked. Wow, he never heard of a back going out like that. But a nurse told me, yes, if you do it right, they'll take you right out, and it did. And it is what it is. But Paul Boyd asked me to be his campaign manager. I agreed before the election, and when I pulled out my back, unfortunately for him, I had to pull out because I was no good. I couldn't do anything. And, I made a commitment to people in 2028. If the people of the community, I told them this on social media, if the people of the community really want to make a change, if they're willing to take their community back in their own hands, I told them in 2028, I will run for mayor of Halifax if you, the people, are willing to make the change. Because that's what my whole issue was with the people of the community. I noticed that election after election after election after election, they kept on voting the same problematic person back in to whatever level of government they were voting for, and they really weren't willing to take the community back. And I told them, I said, look, if you want to take your community back, I'll do this for you. I said, we can do this. If I'm elected as mayor of Halifax in 2028, I will put the community of your region back in your hands, and I will work with Halifax Regional Council at the municipal level and work with the provincial government to make things more affordable. And one thing, like I told David Hinsby, what we should be looking at is the reinstallation of the trolley through Roby Street down to downtown Halifax, Quinpool Road, downtown Halifax. Installing the trolley tracks, the trolley, I should say, back in the downtown core of Halifax. That's a good sign of creating cheaper public transit. Living in downtown Dartmouth, can we do this? Here's the thing. We can accomplish anything if you're willing to do it. I don't think our political leaders are committed enough to do what really needs to be done. I truly believe that, because like I've been saying for years and years and years since I've been involved in politics, that When people run for office, you're supposed to be running for the better of the community, when in fact they're only running for the better of themselves, and that's what's wrong in our region. And I gotta say, David, Mike, you were a good person, a good humanitarian person. Your father was a hell of a doctor. He was before my time, and I gotta say, David, Mike, you and your father, John, there's no such thing as perfect. If you know what perfect is, please tell me what perfect is, because we don't know what perfect is. Your father came under great scrutiny with the amalgamation. Lo and behold, I'm going to dig into it and say, guess what? Before John Savage brought the word amalgamation into effect, Paul Buchanan and his Conservative Party in Nova Scotia was going to bring amalgamation into effect long before John Savage actually did it. So what it came down to is the Liberals and Tories are passing the ball back and forth. Who's actually going to do it? It was your father. So either way or another, we have a lot of work that has to be done. And you're moving on to the next chapter in life with your Governor General job coming up. And I got to say, Mike, I couldn't see a better person taking on the role. So I got to say, good luck. Thank you for your job as mayor. And we'll see you later on down the road.